Hi, Taurus Sun and Rising. Welcome to your September 2023 Astro Update. It's Raina here. Well, one of the things that's happening in September, Taurus, is that your ruler, Venus, is going direct. And this is happening on the 3rd of the month. So Venus has been in Leo since, I believe it was early June. And this has been in your 4th house of home and family. And now something within yourself that has to do with maybe where you live, the domestic side of life, what are your values there, are kind of, I don't want to say that they have been clashing, but they might have been in terms of the outer things. Venus in the 4th house can want luxury in the home, can want, maybe to decorate the home. And these two sides, one is internal, which is more about your values and how they reflect upon you as a whole. For instance, if a Taurus person really has this dream of moving into a bigger house, and they think about it and they think, well, that's going to take more upkeep and it's going to take more money and that's going to take more energy from me. I'm going to have to work longer hours. Maybe I'll have to get another job, or I'll have to hire, somebody to help. And there's all this kind of like complications that you may personally not really want to add to your life. And then you think about it and you say, why do I need more? Why is more better? And you may decide that you really don't need it after all. Now, speaking of that, Jupiter is going through your sign, so more might be really influencing you because Jupiter is about expansion. But you have to understand that there's different types of expansion. You don't have to expand your spending habits if you already are one of those people that likes to spend money. You may have to restrain yourself because you could overspend just by virtue of having that influence in your sign. So it's really about, going within and seeing what truly matters. And speaking of Jupiter, the very next day that after Venus goes direct, Jupiter goes retrograde at 15 degrees of Taurus. So this will carry us until the end of the year. If you happen to have your rising sign as Sagittarius, then you're ruled by Jupiter, and this can even be more significant for you than the average person. But in general, this can be, again, this is going within. And this time, this is in your 1st house of the self. So it really does speak to your ultimate sense of what you're here for. It's very philosophical when Jupiter goes retrograde. So you may be, as a Taurus person, you're really stretching yourself with Uranus transiting your sign and, and Jupiter as well. So you're getting these influences that are kind of rebellious and not what you typically are about. So it might be actually a very good thing that you are going within, because you may come up with some great ideas that you can take into 2024, because Jupiter won't go direct until the very end of the year, until the 30th. Not the last day, but just about. And there might be some area that you were starting to experience growth where it is temporarily halted or slowed down. That's okay, because you'll have bigger and better, things. And this might just be opportunities for you that come back in the new year. And that's fine and dandy. And then on the 14th, we have a new moon in Virgo at 21:59 degrees, which is basically 22 degrees of Virgo. This falls in your fifth house of love and romance, or that's the same thing probably, and creativity and children. So if you have been looking for a new job, maybe you're going to work with children, or maybe you're going to conceive a child. um, And tell you the truth, there might be maybe there was something with that Venus retrograde in the fourth house that had to do with adding to your household, like in terms of having a child, because that's what, some kind of transit to the fourth house could actually mean, that you're adding, maybe you're thinking of having a child, and yet you were questioning the money that it's going to take. And then you think to yourself, well, is money really important? I do have enough money. Why am I so concerned about that when I would easily spend it on a designer bag or something? Why am I so afraid of spending money for my family? And you may realize and get to the heart of the matter. Well, this is a new day is dawning, so it could have something like that. But this is the house of love. A new love could come into your life, new creative project, new hobby, or something that you're doing for fun. This is a fun season for you, Virgo season, even though what Virgo represents can be very work oriented. So it's kind of funny when I have Taurus rising, so the same applies to me. On the 15th, Mercury goes direct. So Mercury has been retrograding all this month to the middle of the month in Virgo. And so some of you may have had some kind of love relationship. I mean, past person who you dealt with come back into your life. And maybe that's another, for some people, that was what Venus retrograde was all about, is, do I want to keep my family together, including your spouse? If you've had some other person who was an ex come back into your life, that might be the thing that led you to question things. And so that would be interesting to know if that happened for anybody. Maybe, the Venus thing isn't so relevant, but perhaps the Mercury retrograde in the fifth is. This can also be rethinking a creative project or retweaking some kind of business proposal that you have. Well, it doesn't even have to be proposal. Maybe it has something actually to do with a business that you have started. And with Mercury involved there, I mean, maybe it's even a tutoring service for children or whatnot. A novel that you're writing that you have been revising, maybe art, some kind of artistic project. If you have been dating someone and you had some kind of misunderstanding, that could be, maybe they lost your number and you thought that they were lying about it, but it's really true. On the 23rd, the sun goes into Libra, and for Taurus, that is the sixth house. That is Virgo's house. So then you are going to start to channel Virgo in that sense and get down to brass tacks after you've had your fun. That's how it works with Virgo. Having Taurus rising, even though it's a late degree, I can vouch for that, of feeling, and of course, living in the Midwest, we do have that autumnal weather that comes in, especially towards the end of September, and it makes you feel like, because that's when school always would start, in September, and that idea of, getting serious about work and things. That goes along with all of that. So I can, I definitely get into that vibe myself. And on the 29th, there is a full moon at 6 degrees of Aries. So Aries is the 12th house for you, Taurus, and this means this is a very wild kind of place to have a full moon because it can be quite deep. It can be something that is having, where you're having a lot of psychic activity. This is the dream state, the 12th house. So it's also the house of self-undoing. So this can be you letting go of something that maybe has been a bad habit and has held you back. And you have help from this transit, from this full moon. Aries is a can-do sign. It's full of courage. And if any, full moon can help somebody summon the courage to do something about a problem of theirs, something that's holding them back, it's Aries. So, that's what I have for you. I hope that this resonated. If you would like a private reading, the link is below. Take care. Bye.